Cardiovascular function undergoes critical changes beyond the age of 60. It's a physiological inevitability that arterial elasticity diminishes, often correlating with an increase in systolic blood pressure. This imposes a greater afterload on the left ventricle, demanding more work from the heart muscle with every beat. Simultaneously, the cumulative endothelial exposure to various metabolic and inflammatory factors across a lifetime significantly heightens the propensity for atherosclerotic plaque development and progression within the coronary and systemic vasculature. These are not benign age-related markers. They represent fundamental pathophysiological shifts that elevate the statistical risk profile for major adverse cardiovascular events. The incidence of myocardial infarction, cerebrovascular accident, and congestive heart failure demonstrates a marked increase within this demographic. These are clinical endpoints with profound implications not only for mortality, but significantly for morbidity, impacting functional capacity, independence, and overall quality of life during later years. While pharmacological interventions play a crucial role in management, the modifiable risk factors remain paramount in prevention and mitigation strategies. Among these, dietary intake exerts a powerful influence. Specific nutrient profiles and food constituents have demonstrated measurable effects on lipid metabolism, blood pressure regulation, endothelial function, and systemic inflammation, all critical determinants of cardiovascular health. Therefore, a precise understanding of optimal nutritional choices transitions from general wellness advice to a targeted therapeutic consideration for individuals navigating their seventh decade and beyond. Identifying these key dietary components is essential for proactive cardiovascular risk reduction and the preservation of long-term cardiac function. The top 5 cardioprotective food groups for individuals over 60. Let us now systematically examine the 5 principal food groups demonstrated through robust scientific evidence to confer significant cardiovascular protection, particularly for individuals navigating their 7th decade and beyond. First, we consider the crucial role of fatty fish, specifically those rich in the long-chain omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, eicosapentaenoic acids EPA and docosahexaenoic acid DHA. Prominent examples include salmon, mackerel, herring, sardines, and to a lesser extent, certain types of tuna like albacore or bluefin. The cardiovascular benefits derived from these marine sources are multifaceted and well documented. Perhaps the most established effect is their potent ability to lower serum triglyceride levels. Elevated triglycerides constitute an independent risk factor for atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. EPA and DHA modulate hepatic lipid metabolism, reducing the synthesis and secretion of very low-density lipoproteins, or VLDL, which are triglyceride-rich particles, while also enhancing triglyceride clearance from the circulation. This action holds particular significance for older adults who often present with dyslipidemia or features of the metabolic syndrome. Beyond lipid modulation, these omega-3 fatty acids exert profound anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic, low-grade inflammation is now understood as a fundamental driver in the initiation and propagation of atherosclerosis. EPA and DHA serve as precursors for specialized pro-resolving mediators, such as resolving and protecting, which actively dampen inflammatory pathways. They compete with pro-inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids, shifting the balance away from the production of inflammatory eicosanoids, thereby helping to quell the chronic vascular inflammation associated with aging and cardiovascular pathology. This anti-inflammatory action contributes directly to preserving the health and function of the vascular endothelium, the critical inner lining of our blood vessels. Furthermore, omega-3 intake is associated with improvements in endothelial function itself and modest reductions in blood pressure. DHA, in particular, appears to enhance the bioavailability of nitric oxide, a key molecule responsible for vasodilation. By promoting vessel relaxation, omega-3s can improve blood flow and help counteract the age-related increase in vascular stiffness and blood pressure. They also possess anti-thrombotic properties, subtly reducing platelet aggregation and the propensity for dangerous blood clot formation, the proximate cause of most heart attacks and ischemic strokes. Finally, some evidence suggests omega-3s may contribute to cardiac electrophysiological stability, potentially reducing the risk of fatal arrhythmias, particularly in the context of ischemic heart disease. Given these diverse protective mechanisms, major health organizations like the American Heart Association consistently recommend consuming at least 2 servings of fish, particularly fatty fish, per week. A standard serving is typically defined as around 3.5 ounces or 100 grams, cooked. Numerous large-scale epidemiological studies and randomized controlled trials have correlated regular fish consumption or omega-3 supplementation with reduced cardiovascular mortality. When selecting fish, fresh or frozen options are often preferable. For canned varieties, choose those packed in water or olive oil and be mindful of sodium content. Preparation methods that preserve omega-3 integrity and avoid adding unhealthy fats are recommended. Steaming, baking, broiling, or poaching are superior to deep frying. While concerns about mercury exist, particularly for larger predatory fish, the cardiovascular benefits of consuming smaller, omega-3 rich fish like salmon, sardines, and herring generally outweigh the potential risks for most adults when consumed within recommended guidelines. Integrating fatty fish could involve a baked salmon fillet with steamed vegetables, a sardine salad on whole grain bread, or adding flaked mackerel to a pasta dish. Our second critical food group comprises dark leafy green vegetables. This category includes powerhouses like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, romaine lettuce, and cruciferous greens like broccoli. Their cardiovascular significance lies in a unique synergy of vital nutrients. They are exceptionally rich sources of vitamin K1, or phylloquinone. While essential for blood clotting, vitamin K is also indispensable for activating matrix glyprotein, a key physiological inhibitor of vascular calcification. As we age, the tendency for calcium deposition within arterial walls increases, leading to arterial stiffness, a major risk factor for hypertension and cardiovascular events. Adequate vitamin K intake helps maintain arterial suppleness by preventing this harmful calcification. It's clinically important to note that individuals taking vitamin K antagonist medications, like warfarin, must maintain a consistent daily intake of these greens, rather than avoiding them. To ensure stable anticoagulation, consultation with their physician is paramount. These vegetables are also primary dietary sources of nitrates. Through a fascinating biological pathway involving oral bacteria and bodily enzymes, these nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, or NO. Nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator, signaling blood vessels to relax and widen. This improves blood flow dynamics and exerts a direct blood pressure lowering effect, which is particularly beneficial in countering age-related increases in vascular resistance. Furthermore, dark leafy greens are replete with antioxidants, including vitamins C and E, beta, carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin. These compounds actively neutralize damaging reactive oxygen species, protecting the delicate endothelial lining from oxidative stress and mitigating the chronic inflammation that fuels atherosclerosis. The substantial fiber content aids in lowering LDL cholesterol by binding bile acids in the gut and promotes better blood sugar control, both indirectly benefiting cardiovascular health. Lastly, many greens provide essential minerals like magnesium and potassium, which are crucial electrolytes for regulating heart rhythm and maintaining healthy blood pressure levels. Consistent epidemiological evidence links higher intake of dark leafy greens to a significantly lower risk of developing heart disease and stroke. To maximize benefits, choose fresh, deeply colored greens. Gentle cooking methods like steaming or light sautéing preserve more nutrients than prolonged boiling. Consuming some greens raw in salads is also excellent. Easy integration includes adding spinach to omelettes or smoothies, using romaine as a base for substantial salads, serving steamed broccoli or sautéed chard as a regular side dish, or incorporating collard greens into soups or stews. The goal is regular, varied intake. Third on our list are berries. This vibrant group, including blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and cranberries, represents a concentrated source of potent cardioprotective compounds. Their most celebrated components are anthocyanins, the flavonoid pigments responsible for their rich red, blue, and purple hues. Anthocyanins are powerful antioxidants with demonstrated benefits for vascular health. They directly protect endothelial cells from oxidative damage and inflammation, improving endothelial function, the ability of blood vessels to properly relax and contract. Studies suggest anthocyanins can contribute to lower blood pressure, reduced arterial stiffness, and favorable changes in cholesterol profiles. The high antioxidant capacity of berries, also contributed by vitamin C and other phytonutrients, helps combat the systemic oxidative stress that accelerates aging processes, including those affecting the cardiovascular system. Emerging research even links berry consumption to better cognitive function, likely related in part to improved cerebrovascular health. Berries are also a good source of dietary fiber and are relatively low in calories compared to their nutrient density, making them an excellent choice for weight management and blood sugar control. When selecting berries, fresh, ripe fruits are ideal, but frozen berries retain much of their nutritional value and are a convenient year-round option. Be cautious with processed berry products like jams, juices, and sweetened dried berries, as they often contain substantial amounts of added sugar, which can negate the health benefits. Integrating berries is simple. Enjoy a handful as a snack, add them to plain yogurt or oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or toss them into salads for a burst of flavor and color. Aiming for several servings per week can significantly contribute to cardiovascular wellness. Fourth, we must emphasize the importance of whole grains, with a particular spotlight on oats. This category includes not just oats, but also brown rice, whole wheat, barley, quinoa, and buckwheat. The defining characteristic of whole grains is that they retain all three parts of the grain kernel, the bran, the germ, and the endosperm, unlike refined grains, like white bread or white rice, which have had the nutrient-rich bran and germ removed. The primary cardiovascular benefit of whole grains, especially oats and barley, comes from their high content of a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. This remarkable fiber forms a viscous gel in the digestive tract. This gel traps cholesterol-rich bile acids, preventing their reabsorption and promoting their excretion. To compensate, the liver must draw more cholesterol from the bloodstream to synthesize new bile acids, effectively lowering levels of LDL, or bad cholesterol. This mechanism is so well established that health authorities like the US FDA permit cardiovascular health claims for foods containing sufficient amounts of oat beta-glucan. Beyond cholesterol management, the overall fiber content in whole grains aids in regulating blood sugar levels by slowing glucose absorption, which is crucial for preventing or managing type 2 diabetes, a major risk factor for heart disease, particularly prevalent in older adults. The fiber also promotes satiety, assisting with weight control. Whole grains provide essential B vitamins, important for energy metabolism, and minerals like magnesium, which plays a role in blood pressure regulation and heart function. When cheerfully grain products, carefully read labels, look for terms like 100% whole wheat or whole grain as the first ingredient. Opt for steel, cut or rolled oats over instant varieties, which often contain added sugars and less fiber. Incorporating whole grains can involve starting the day with oatmeal topped with fruit and nuts, substituting brown rice for white rice, choosing whole wheat bread for sandwiches, or adding quinoa or barley to soups and salads. Regular consumption of diverse whole grains forms a cornerstone of a healthy dietary pattern. Finally, our fifth group encompasses nuts and seeds. This includes almonds, walnuts, pistachios, cashews, pecans, as well as seeds like chia, flaxseed, pumpkin seeds, and sunflower seeds. Despite being calorie-dense when consumed in moderation, they offer substantial cardiovascular advantages. Their primary benefit lies in their favorable fatty acid profile, being rich in monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These healthy fats, when substituted for saturated and trans fats in the diet, help to lower LDL cholesterol and may raise HDL, or good, cholesterol levels. Walnuts are particularly noteworthy for their high content of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that contributes to heart health. Flax seeds and chia seeds are also excellent sources of ALA, alongside significant fiber. Nuts and seeds provide a good measure of dietary fiber, further aiding cholesterol and blood sugar control. They also contain plant sterols, compounds structurally similar to cholesterol that compete for absorption in the gut, thereby reducing the amount of cholesterol entering the bloodstream. Furthermore, they are sources of vitamin E, a potent antioxidant protecting cell membranes, and essential minerals like magnesium, crucial for heart rhythm and blood pressure regulation. Several large prospective studies, such as the PRDALMAD trial, have linked regular nut consumption, around a handful daily, to a significantly reduced risk of major cardiovascular events. However, portion control is critical due to their high calorie content. A recommended daily serving is typically about 1 ounce, roughly a small handful. Choose raw or dry roasted varieties without added salt or sugar. Salted nuts can counteract the blood pressure benefits, and sugar-coated nuts add unnecessary calories and negate health advantages. For flax seeds, grinding them improves the bioavailability of their nutrients, especially ALA. Integration is versatile. Enjoy a small handful as a snack instead of processed options. Sprinkle chia or ground flaxseed onto yogurt or oatmeal. Add chopped walnuts or almonds to salads or stir fries, or use unsweetened nut butters sparingly on whole grain toast. Used judiciously, nuts and seeds are nutrient-dense powerhouses for cardiovascular protection. Other important factors and general notes. While the consistent inclusion of these 5 specific food groups forms a powerful dietary strategy for cardiovascular protection, it is imperative to underscore that optimal heart health in the later years is achieved within the context of a holistic, healthy lifestyle. Diet, however crucial, does not operate in isolation. Several other modifiable factors significantly influence cardiovascular outcomes, particularly after the age of 60. Firstly, regular physical activity, appropriate for individual capacity and health status, remains fundamental. Engaging in activities like brisk walking, swimming, cycling, or tailored strength training helps maintain cardiovascular fitness, improves insulin sensitivity, aids in weight management, and contributes to blood pressure control. Even moderate, consistent activity yields substantial benefits compared to a sedentary existence. Consultation with a healthcare provider to determine safe and effective exercise regimens is advisable. Secondly, adequate hydration is often overlooked, but essential for maintaining optimal blood volume and viscosity, supporting efficient circulation. Thirdly, effective stress management techniques are vital. Chronic psychological stress elevates cortisol levels and sympathetic nervous system activity, both of which can adversely impact blood pressure, heart rate, and promote inflammation. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, yoga, or engaging in enjoyable hobbies can mitigate these effects. Fourthly, ensuring sufficient restorative sleep is critical. Poor sleep quality and duration are increasingly linked to hypertension, obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular events. Prioritizing sleep hygiene is an important aspect of overall health maintenance. Furthermore, it is non-negotiable to emphasize the absolute necessity of smoking cessation and the strict limitation of alcohol consumption. Smoking is a primary, potent risk factor for atherosclerosis, endothelial dysfunction, and thrombosis. Excessive alcohol intake can lead to hypertension, cardiomyopathy, arrhythmias, and contribute to weight gain and elevated triglycerides. Crucially, we must address 2 specific dietary components often overconsumed in modern diets that directly antagonize cardiovascular health: sodium and added sugars. Excessive sodium intake, primarily from processed foods and added salt, is a major driver of hypertension, particularly in salt-sensitive individuals, a group that expands with age. Reducing sodium requires diligent label reading and minimizing processed food consumption, favoring fresh ingredients seasoned with herbs and spices instead of salt. Similarly, high intake of added sugars, found abundantly in sugary drinks, desserts, and many processed foods, contributes significantly to weight gain, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, elevated triglycerides, and systemic inflammation, all detrimental to heart health. Prioritizing whole foods and minimizing processed items naturally reduces intake of both detrimental components. Finally, none of these lifestyle and dietary modifications replace the fundamental importance of regular medical surveillance. Consistent monitoring of blood pressure, lipid profiles, cholesterol and triglycerides, and blood glucose levels is essential for early detection and management of risk factors. For individuals already diagnosed with cardiovascular conditions or related comorbidities like diabetes or chronic kidney disease, strict adherence to prescribed medications and treatment plans, alongside regular follow-up with their physician and healthcare team, is paramount. These dietary recommendations are adjuncts to, not substitutes for, appropriate medical care. Lifestyle changes and medical management work synergistically to provide the most comprehensive cardiovascular protection. We've journeyed together through the landscape of nourishment, exploring specific avenues that profoundly support the very core of our vitality, the heart. The power residing within the foods we choose extends far beyond simple sustenance. It's a form of biological communication, a daily dialogue we engage in with our own intricate physiology. Each meal represents an opportunity, a conscious decision to either bolster our resilience or inadvertently challenge it. Think of your heart not just as a muscle, but as the steadfast conductor of your internal orchestra, tirelessly maintaining the rhythm of life. The nutritional choices we've discussed serve as the essential instruments and the skilled players needed for a harmonious performance. They provide the raw materials for repair, the antioxidants to shield against cellular stress, the healthy fats to maintain vascular flexibility, and the fiber to regulate crucial metabolic processes. This isn't about restriction in the negative sense, rather it's about enrichment. It's about actively selecting the elements that allow this vital organ to function optimally, day after day, year after year. However, understanding what nourishes is only the first step. The true transformation lies in the consistent application of this knowledge. Cardiovascular health isn't built through sporadic bursts of good behavior, nor is it undone by a single indulgence. It is the cumulative effect of countless small, mindful decisions woven into the fabric of our daily lives. It requires patience, a commitment not to perfection, but to progression. It's about cultivating habits that become second nature, integrating these heart-supporting principles into your routine until they feel less like a diet and more like a natural way of honoring your body. Furthermore, we must acknowledge the beautiful complexity of human individuality. While the principles we've explored hold broad validity, your unique genetic blueprint, lifestyle factors, pre-existing conditions, and even personal preferences shape your specific nutritional needs. The information presented serves as a robust foundation, a starting point grounded in scientific evidence. But for a truly personalized roadmap to optimal heart health, engaging with healthcare professionals, your physician, a registered dietitian, remains paramount. They can help translate these general guidelines into a practical, sustainable plan tailored precisely to you, ensuring safety and maximizing benefit. Ultimately, embracing a heart-healthy way of eating is an act of profound self-care and foresight. It's an investment in your future, a future potentially filled with more energy, greater clarity, enhanced resilience, and the simple, invaluable gift of more healthy years to spend with loved ones and pursue your passions. It's about recognizing that the quality of fuel we provide directly impacts the quality and longevity of our journey. Let this knowledge empower you. Let it inspire you not towards rigid rules, but towards conscious, informed choices made from a place of respect for the incredible machine that is your body, and particularly for the unwavering beat of your own resilient heart. Nurture it well, listen to its needs, and build a foundation of health that will serve you faithfully for all the moments yet to come. Thank you.